Hey, welcome to Mama's Had Enough. If you're new, thank you for tuning in. If you're returning, thank you. I appreciate you. I hope you guys like it. Hit subscribe, hit like, stick around. Today we're talking about something that is very near and dear to my heart, and I see it more and more in the news, on social media. What I don't see is our government's doing enough to prevent or stop this from happening, especially repeat offenders. So I think it's time we had a chit chat. Let's get chatting. This is what we're talking about today. Back in 2019, a 34-year-old man was arrested on child exploitation charges in my hometown. He's also the father of one of my best friend's daughters, which is why this specific case is so near and dear to me. Back in 2013, I actually went to court as a witness to testify that this man had SA'd his little girl, and she was only 5 years old at the time. Due to the things that she had told me herself, I was subpoenaed to court. That being said, due to lack of physical evidence, he was acquitted. And the mother was made to look like a liar. It was said that she coached her daughter to say these things. And I'll tell you right now, after spending 5 minutes with that little girl, hearing the things that came out of her mouth, there's not a human in this planet that could coach a little girl to say or do those things. She fought so hard for her baby girl, and there is nothing she could do. After he was acquitted, he moved 8 hours from where he lived all the way into the town where his daughter was so that he could get 50-50 custody of her, which he did. And even though the mother fought so hard to try to keep her little girl from spending any alone time with this man, she was told that it was a court order, and if she went against it, she would be arrested and possibly lose 100% custody of her daughter. So even after knowing full well what this monster did to her daughter, she had no choice but to turn her over back into the hands of this sicko. She appealed, she fought, because of double jeopardy law, you can't be charged twice for the same crime without new evidence. So she had to bite the bullet, stay quiet, and just let her little girl go. And of course, he was more careful this time, brainwashing her, telling her that if she wanted to see him, she couldn't tell mommy anymore, whatever, sick shit. Then a few years go by, and he is charged again, this time by a family that has never known him. He's actually renting a room off of them up in Fox Creek while he's away at work. They have a 3-year-old little girl. Well, she goes to her parents and says, he's doing this to me. They charge him, and once again, due to lack of evidence, he's acquitted. Yeah, yeah. And because he was acquitted the first time, there's no record of it. He doesn't have to register as an offender, nothing. No proof whatsoever. So for over a decade, this man is volunteering at his daughter's elementary school, dating women with children, a 3-year-old to be exact, that is also one of his victims. So are one of her nephews. And every one of these children was between the ages of 2 and 10 years old. And there was over 12 victims, and those are the only ones that they could identify. This man had the largest collection of child exploitation videos in Alberta history, and the second largest collection of photos, most of which he's in, by the way. All because our justice system let him off not once, but twice, and then put his child back into his greasy, sicko fucking hands. I don't understand it. I have watched this mother fall apart time and time and time again, feeling so goddamn helpless because nobody would fucking listen to her. You know who they listened to? Him, his family, his bullshit about how she's an abusive parent, how she's uh, coaching her daughter to say these horrific things. She's manipulating her. No, he was the whole fucking time. He was volunteering at Girl Scouts. Yeah, all kinds of sick shit. And the courts did nothing for over a decade. And then, thanks to a tip from Australian police, he's finally caught after having the opportunity to make over 500,000 videos and pictures of these children. So after he was caught and arrested, he was given an 18-year prison sentence, which he received time and a half for his 2 years already served, so that was cut down to 15 years. It says right here that he got an 18 years in prison, designated a long-term offender. Yeah, see? Red Deer Provincial Court Judge Jim Hunter agreed that the man's crimes, which included compiling one of the biggest child corn collections investigators have ever seen in Alberta, called for a 10-year long-term supervision order. The order requires him to obey strict conditions once his prison sentence has been served. Given time and a half credit for his 2 years in custody, he has 15 years left on his sentence. They now say that he is only considered a moderate risk to reoffend. In ordering the 10-year long-term supervision order, he said that he accepted the man's remorse and took into account that he pled guilty rather than subject his victims to a lengthy court proceeding. The man is considered a lifetime SA offender, which means he must abide by strict conditions limiting his access to computer devices, yada, 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 yada. Well, it's now 2024, and he's already able to apply for day parole. Yeah, that means he's allowed out on day passes. What the fuck are we doing, Canada? Seriously, what is happening? He has over 12 victims, over hundreds of thousands of videos and pictures of these children with him in them. What more proof do you need? This man should be, at the very least, spend his life in prison. Not 25, life. But in my opinion, he should be wiped off the face of the earth. Because guess what? These children, they don't just wake up one day and their sentence is over. No, this is something they have to live with for the rest of their fucking lives. Especially his daughter. She's never going to just grow up and grow out of this. She's not getting an 18-year sentence and then it's all good, you're fine to go. No, she has to worry for her entire life. At every job that she works, every time she's walking down a street, if she's going to bump into the man that ruined her fucking life, that took her innocence from her time and time again. Shit needs to change. It needs to change now. Starting with giving any predator, especially a child predator, a minimum life sentence. Canada or not. I don't know what else to say. All I know is that personally watching this family go through what they've gone through, watching that little girl go through what she's gone through, I can't imagine having to worry about that person, that man. You can't, that person, that slime ball, that creature getting out of prison within my lifetime or my daughter's lifetime. But they do. Because that's our justice system. It is so fucking broken that we are giving these offenders second chances. Change now. Please.